Welcome back to Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, May edition, part 3. I'll just show you where I'm up to. So I've cantha stitched everything on and just still have left this little bit here. It really goes on well. It's quite, I'm quite happy with this design. Just the way it fits snugly around. So today I wanted to add some embellishments before I put this on, or maybe I can put this on. I think I'll just keep it to double check that I'm not putting anything chunky or clunky underneath. But I definitely have a couple of bits of these lacy things that I love and want to put on. So this one, actually it goes up that way. Putting that there means it's going to butt up against this rather than overlap. That might be a little bit big actually. Something small for there. Right, this is going to be about here. Maybe I can fit something small like that there. That's cute. Now this is going to be on the back, of course, and so will this little edge here. Doesn't mean not to put something decorative on, you still can. But it's not as necessary. And this edge will be under like that. So I could technically put something like this on, like that. And then have this sitting here. See if it's going to work. Like that, so they match up when they're tied together. And this will be all right, that'll be all right, but this one, maybe, might need to cut that a bit. Like that. So it comes up through there. That'll work. All right, what else have I got here? Got another little one. Just put it back the way it'll be seen though. So this is kind of the most that'll be seen, and a bit of this as well. So I'm just bearing in mind that it's nice to have some on the back because it makes sense if you've got it opened out. But obviously, if it's on the box and it's on the shelf, it's not going to be seen. So it's good to have a couple of these little bits here. I think I'm finding it hard to get enough space to put more on. Perhaps this can go here. because I do need to leave this empty. It's nice with a bit of orange under it. I think maybe I might cut this a bit shorter and trim this edge here. Okay. Alright, so I've got a thread ready. Now obviously I don't have to be doing as much elaborate stitching as I did with the Canthur stitching. I just want to get each little segment of things like this secured all around the edge. Without getting caught on those little ties. Yes, that's working. So this is quite a nice little project. I'm kind of, I don't know why, I felt a little bit like when I first heard a box covering a box, I kind of was like, oh no, I'm not inspired about that one. But I'm actually quite happy about this. So there you go, we all have our different little quirks and projects that work for us, or we make it work. I think even Rachel said she didn't really know what to do about this one. But there you are. We all find a way to work. So I hope everyone's well and having a nice weekend. What am I doing? I haven't got anything really super special on. Just Nora's actually gone to Uluru, so that's exciting. Went through all the plans with her, and it's quite interesting. She's going to ride a camel. She's going to camp in her tent. So one of the difficult things, of course, is she often wants me to give her answers about things because I'm from Australia and she's from Colombia, but I've actually never been to Uluru before, so I don't know the answers. I don't know much about the hop-on, hop-off bus, but we found a blog site that had handy hints for first-timers, and that person had said you definitely need to have a parks pass before you go on the hop-on, hop-off bus, which was handy to know because we couldn't work out if you just needed to buy your bus ticket and then you were covered as part of the bus ticket. So you've got to pay for a parks pass, which is, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 days. And then you can go into either the area that used to be called the Olgas, which is now called Kuchatuja. I'm not sure how to pronounce it actually. It would be the indigenous word for what used to be called the Olgas. And it's about a 30-minute drive from there to actually Uluru. So I do believe Nora wants to do a camel ride because she's never done one before. And I believe she does long hikes, so I believe she is going to hike around the base of Uluru, which takes 3 to 4 hours. It'll probably take her 3 because she's quite fit. I think it would take me all day. I don't know if I'd make it, but I'd give it a good go, I think. I'll try to. It's made me a bit inspired. I've always wanted to go there, but I guess one of the good things is that when someone else is planning it, you kind of get to work out what it is, how things work and what would work for you. I know that one of my things would have to be warm for me to stay in the tent, I think. But also, as you get older, tents become a bit harder. Don't really want to be on that hard ground for too long. It's a bit much. I think this is probably going to be down enough. Just do a couple across this middle bit. Anyway, so very exciting for her. From Melbourne, you have to fly from Sydney to Sydney, then across to Uluru or to Alice Springs. It's probably a light plane across from Sydney. I remember when I flew to Dubbo from Sydney. I went Melbourne, Sydney, Dubbo, and Dubbo was on a light plane because it's just a small little airport, so they don't need to do too much more than that. But we'll see once she's been. I'll give the report. She doesn't care too much about the drones or the field of light kind of experience, but she really does want to do either the sunrise viewing or the sunset viewing, one or the other. But you don't have to go and do the whole shebang and the whole meals and all of that. You can just walk, catch the hop-on, hop-off bus. So my understanding of a hop-on, hop-off bus is that you can just hop on and hop off. But apparently, catching the hop-on, hop-off bus, you just pay for the time you want to go. Like, okay, we're doing the morning sunrise, so you've got to be on the bus at this time, and we come back at this time to the campground. That might all be totally wrong, but we haven't found any information otherwise to say she can just get on, go and do the sunrise thing, come back, and the pass works for the rest of the day. I don't think it does. I think if she goes back, she has to pay for another ride in. Yeah, it's a bit hard if I haven't done it before to actually have enough up-to-date information about any of that. I try my best though. And I guess when she gets back, I'll know more about it. Maybe I'll know more about it for my own trip. I do want to go there. It's like something that any Australian should do, really, when you think about it. But I am back on thinking about mobile home, like not necessarily a mobile home. I'm back on thinking of a smaller version, like a Hi-Ace or something that you can put like a camp bed in the back of. That's what I've been thinking. Sometimes just to get away. And I would consider going up to Alice Springs in a car and staying in the car at the campground. Compared to some of the places at the resort, the campground's pretty cheap actually. I think when you have only limited luggage, like Nora's going to have with the plane trip, she's really only going to manage her tent and her sleeping bag. That's probably about it. So she's going to have to be able to get food. She's going to have to be able to cook somewhere, cook on a camp, like, how some campsites have a camp kitchen. And I'm hoping there is one, because she'll be in trouble if there isn't. She's going to be living on sandwiches, I think. She's done it before. I guess it won't. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, if you have a little car that you can sleep in, you'll be able to have a little camp stove in the car. Anyway, it's exciting, isn't it? I love this idea of travelling. Just getting all mostly the edges, this edge along here and these edges on this outer bit down. It's not the sort of an item that I think I'm going to be catching on things all the time, because I'm likely to just wrap it around the box. I've got to work out what's going in the box. Wrap it around the box and put it on my shelf. Either on my shelf, either like upright with this panel showing, like a bookcase, or upright with the front cover showing. Not sure yet. That's to be decided. I know I wanted to keep my box pretty authentic, but I have had a thought that I might do some padded stuff on the inside, like, possibly some batting all the way around on the inside, maybe a bit of embroidered something. But I don't want to lose the authenticity of the labels. Anyway, I'm sitting with that idea at the moment. Right, that's another one down. I might just get some of the other ones down and come back, because it's just the same thing over and over. And I haven't been doing that much to have that many stories to tell. This is my comeback from Tasmania, need to pay off a few bills and debts and save up a bit of money moment, so I'm quiet and subtle and, just getting on with this stuff. We'll see where we go from here, especially after the June visit to the Green Door Studio and then the July visit to Lily for her graduation. So I will continue on with this and I will be back. Rightio, I've got all of those on and I'm back, and I think I'll put this on now. I'm going to definitely do some embroidery for here, but I thought if I put this on, I can marry up the colours a bit more and just double check. I'm thinking of putting it on with this one. No. Just trying to decide. Maybe the yellow, it's a bit bright. Maybe this will work because it'll match. That's a bit apricot. So I think I might glue it down first so as it's in its place where I want it to be. This will also match up with these, yes, that matches nicely. Let me just put a little bit of glue on. Not too much, just a little bit. Put this here. Now I'm looking at this line here and lining up with that. Right, I'm just separating to 3 strands. I think the whole 6 was just a bit thick for what I wanted. Now, will I or won't I? I'm just trying to work out, will I do blanket stitch? If I'm going to, it's actually a little bit hard. I think I might not do blanket stitch just because it's a bit hard to see where the you know, if I'm coming up from the underneath. Right, that's what I'm doing. It's not really a blanket stitch, it's just edging. That way I can see where I'm going down into this paper material that I made. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it all the way around and then I'll come back. Okay, I've finished doing the stitching around here and I've put it back on my box. I think it looks quite nice with the doilies. You could have it displayed even this way if you wanted. That's still interesting. Or this way. So that's it for this episode, and I will be back to work on this in the next episode. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one. Bye for now.